Alright, I'll just talk about those edits for a second. Now there are a bunch of plugins that you can use to do stuff like this, but I always prefer doing it manually by hand because I can be very precise. Plugins, well, you could be precise, but sometimes they tend to get a bit chaotic. One plugin I do like using is Stutter Edit, but over here I just did things manually. So you can see it's just, chopping up the sample. Now you're hearing these different pitches, it sounds like a synth because again I did that trick of just selecting a particular slice and then transposing it up. Make sure to turn the warp off because otherwise it won't sound as good. And all these edits are kind of synced because I'll have grid mode on and I'll make sure that I have it perfectly on the grid. So you can actually right click and set your grid to 30-second notes. It happens again over here. I think it happens again towards the end over here. So this is actually on the backing vocals. So this was a lot of fun. It took some time, but I kind of enjoyed doing this. So again, just slicing it up and just experimenting with, what slices work, what kind of timing works, how short those edits should be or how long they should be, what should the pitch be. Because I don't think it's a good idea to just select these edits and just randomly transposing them. You can try that and then, you might find something interesting, but it's just a matter of listening to it. It's like here I have this one is 2 semitones above, then it goes back to normal pitch. This one is 7 semitones above. 7 is generally a good idea because it's a fifth above, and then 10 would be what, a sixth? Sorry, minus 6, I guess. Yeah, and that's back to 0. And then 5 is not a very good idea because I think that's a tritone. No, 6 is a tritone, 5 is a fourth, so yeah, that's good. So 6, yeah, but I guess it worked. Yeah, it sounds a bit weird there, but I think it kind of works. Yeah, this one has that funny harmony in there. Yeah, I guess one thing, once you start doing this, you just want to keep in mind you don't want to overdo it. If we listen to this entire section, so there actually wasn't any vocals over here because it's, let me play you the section where this thing came from. Yeah, I think it's the chorus. Yeah, so I just cut out this section. It's just those first 2 measures, and then there's a gap, and it's again that same part. Do what makes you happy. So stuff like that. Now another interesting thing that's happening with vocals is in the drop. Yeah, so this is a technique I picked up from Skrillex's Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites. So what you do is, I think a lot of people are doing this nowadays. You just find a section. It works pretty well on vocals, so you just take a little section. Like I'll just copy this over and do it somewhere over here. Paste it here. Right click it, and then there's this option here, slice to new MIDI track. Now in these options you can slice it to transients, so you get kind of clean edits. But if you slice it to 8 notes, quarter notes, 16 notes, you won't get very clean edits. But sometimes you want those random abrupt cuts. So but though for this one I think I chose transient. So let's say we choose that, hit OK. So what happens is that Ableton Live will now automatically create another MIDI track, and with a little drum rack in there with all the little slices. and these slices are all individual transients that it found. And if I just let me solo this track and play it.
Do whatever you want, jump over the fence to the other side. You can take it up.
It's essentially the exact same thing from the little region that I selected.
Do whatever you want, jump over the...
Yeah, minus all those effects and stuff. So right now it's playing back all those slices exactly how, you know, the original was. But then we can go in and change these things around. So I can move this up here. Let me turn on this audition.
Up to ever out you whatever you want, jump over the fence. You down you whatever you want, jump one can you whatever.
It's not sounding that good right now, but because this does take some time to really find a nice little pattern. And what I did also do is I transposed some of the slices. Now over here, how do you transpose slices? Because we're in MIDI right now, and if I move the MIDI notes up or down, it's just going to move to another slice, as it says over here, slice 36, 35, so on and so forth. What you can do is, let's say this slice, I want to push this up. Just double click the slice and you'll see the little sampler, or I think it's simpler. And over here, transpose, you can just move it up. I'm just using the keyboard now. So let's say, just move it up 7. So that's what that sounds like now. And I don't know which one that was. You can look for it. There it is. So not sounding very good right now, but you kind of have to play with this, find which samples you want to pitch up, which samples you want to keep as is, which samples you want to maybe transpose down. And then also, you know, how you want to arrange these notes. And most of the time I've noticed that I wouldn't keep the entire section, I will just have portions of it. So going back to what I have, if we just listen to that. And yeah, I kind of created harmony over here by having multiple notes. You can see multiple slices playing together. So again, it may or may not work depending on, you know, the existing harmony. You may have to transpose it up to make it work. You can see here it's exactly the original note pitch shifting. This one's pitch shifted. This one's pitch shifted. So you kind of have to experiment with this to get what you want. Let's have one last listen to it. Cool. Sometimes you'll find something that works and you may want to repeat that once in a while. So, you know, repetition is always a good idea. Well, this is the entire thing repeating. So I think that's pretty much it. Let's see if I'm forgetting something. Okay, there's an acoustic guitar here. This is again from the original. Let's have a quick listen to that transition from verse to chorus. So you'll notice the verse has a lot of electronic sounds and the chorus is kind of more acoustic.
You can never have a say. Do what makes you HAPPY. Never turn back, never come back to.
So yeah, over here there's also another little part from the original. That was an electric slide guitar, but as you can see, I've again sliced that up like crazy. It's not very obvious in the mix, it's kind of soft, but you can hear in the background there.